Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
We are back now with Julie Laughton, my idol. She's a contractor. She's a designer. She does everything hands-on. I was just outside trying to hold a string for someone to do my pool house. This construction thing, I don't get. We're talking permits, sewer lines, this pitch, that pitch. And I'm like, Julie could help me. Too bad she lives in California. But please introduce yourself to our listeners today.
My name is Julie Laughton, and I'm both a designer and a licensed general contractor. I do it all, one stop.
I got to call you my questions. And where are you based out of?
Laguna Beach, California.
Beautiful. Working on some gorgeous homes and, of course, a lot of experience working with those homes that are on the water and dealing with permits, towns, so many things I can't even mention. You have all the knowledge. For those new listeners today, I just want to point out you are the one-stop shop. The
Yes,
build, the design, the service.
Everything, all in one place. I have a degree in college for architecture, interior design, and landscape architecture, all rolled into one big design degree. And even though I'm not a licensed architect, I consciously chose not to go that route because I prefer to be the licensed general contractor. So I literally do everything from A to Z, and I submit the plans, and I protect the client from disaster.
Got it. Well, thank you for being here. What did you want to share today? Oh, and by the way, the website, yourname.com. Spell it for us,
Yep.
Julie.
That's julielaughton.com. So easy, just my name. Everything on there is my name. You can't miss it.
Awesome. All right. What do you have for us today?
I was going to talk about clarity and reality. You know, because we've had 3 months of nonstop rain out here. We've had some projects with delays and some clients that are impatient. And it all starts at the very beginning, the misunderstanding or the misconception. So when you hire your architect and your interior designer and your contractor, you typically have to work with all those people plus 5 engineers. And gosh, it takes forever. But with me, it's one person, and I organize all that, and then I explain it clearly up front. And I always tell people that's pretty much the same thing on end dates and how long it takes. But whenever there's a problem, like, oh my God, it's raining. Oh my God, reality, can't work outside. Oh my God, it's funny how they forget that we have to deal with the forces of nature. And if the city does something, you know, I'm not in control of that. I mean, so we get beat up a lot. But my purpose of bringing it up is that it's not always the contractor or the architect's fault, but the problem is clarity up front. And I know I'm clear up front because I put it in writing and I tell people, but when they start to melt down, you just wonder. So clarity means both sides have to take responsibility.
Wow, got it. But so how do you prevent that? You have a conversation at the beginning, you have it in writing, but they just seem to forget. So clarity versus reality.
Yeah, and it's just because it's really tough because a lot of times the delays are caused by the person itself, but sometimes there's things we can't control because I don't usually have delays, but you can't control the weather, you can't control the city. And I think people forget that construction has no real end date. It's a moving target the whole time we're working because you got the weather, you got city delays, and then you just got humans that are you're orchestrating. I'm orchestrating 50 people a day to show up and work. So the reality is, you know, there is no rushing construction because when you do it right, you can't go fast. You can do it good and fast, but that doesn't mean rushing. And then there's 3 ways to do things: good, fast, and cheap, but you can only do it 2 of them. We don't do cheap because some people do the cheap, fast, down and dirty flipper stuff. We don't do that, but it's kind of funny. There is no rushing excellence and 5-star. So it's kind of fun to know that it should take a long time if you're actually doing it right and you're giving.
Lost you. Oh, connecting. Yep. Hello. There you go. I hear you now, I think.
Yeah, I got it. I got
Perfect.
a phone call. So sorry.
Oh,
Busy
good.
girl.
Okay.
Anyway, it's fun because I have my little 7 simple steps. And my 7 simple steps outlines all of this.
Tell us more about the 7. Yep. Go ahead.
Okay, good. Yeah, so the 7 simple steps is it's funny because I have other clients that I've worked with where they buy a piece of property and then they find out they can't build on it. And that's really sad. So when you go to buy your house and your property, whether it's a piece of dirt or an old house, you should actually consult with an architect, a soils engineer, a structural engineer, and the contractor, because there's so many things that potentially could be a surprise. So that's my first step, is don't buy anything until you consult with the people that you want to remodel it or build it, because it's amazing what you don't know that's not out there and up front. And then the second step is do your plans, and make sure you do your plans with all the information on it. Don't let your contractor say, oh, you can pick that later, or you can go shopping later. No. So you want to, do your plans that has all the information and all the design decisions done day one of construction. And then you just move to construction. So the step 3 is, going to the city, because the plans plans go to the city while you're finishing the design selections. And then step 4 is bidding it. And then when you bid it, you get to know all the prices and make more decisions and changes before you go to step 5, which is sign the construction contract. And then step 6 is, you move into your house and you do your punch list. And step 7 is lifetime maintenance, love your home. So there's 7 simple steps, but there's so much information in those steps. But if you follow them, you can't make a mistake.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, bring it on. What else you have for us, Julie?
Well, it's just all about, the reality of construction is if you're really working with someone that is organized and knows what they're doing, and you're doing it custom, oh my gosh, it's a whole nother animal, because each sub has to do something. I just finished a job with 26 10-foot marble slabs. We clad all the walls of the master bathroom and the kitchen. The work is so detailed and so time consuming. It was just fabulous. But it's rushing is no good on something when it's 5-star. But there is no real end date, because it never seems to end at the end, because you got touch up and punch list. So when you do it right, it's time consuming, but it's worth it. When it's custom. The end result's amazing.
I'm sure. And there's so much beautiful work. Go to the website again, julielaughton.com, to see. Go ahead. Got to just plug you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, my website is julielaughton.com, but I also have another website, which is julielaughton.com, which is where you can find these 7 steps. And this little 7-step course is free. So you just click on the videos. There's 7 of them, and it explains everything. And then behind the videos, you can click on a document that puts it in writing for you, so that you can, print it out and have a little cheat sheet of what's the 7 steps to the secret of a successful 5-star experience. And then I have one more website, which is Julie Laughton Living, which is my podcast, which is this podcast and is tied to that. But I have my own podcast where I talk once a week about all the Julie's world, and Julie inspiring maybe other women and young men to get into construction, because it's fun. But you got to I always say go to design school or architecture school and then become a contractor like me, because to be like me, you have to go to be an architect, an interior designer, and a custom kitchen designer, and a space planner, and then a contractor. So that's what makes it easy for me. So just fun.
Amazing. And what other projects have you been working on? What are you sharing on the podcast? What did you want to share with us today?
I have this really great project that I'm working on at a place called Camel Point in Laguna Beach, and the client is currently selling it for $30 million. And what it is, it's a typical home where maybe the maintenance wasn't done perfectly over the years. So I'm basically restoring it with a lot of maintenance, so it looks brand new when they sell it. And the cool thing is, this couple, it's 2 brothers, and their grandparents owned the original house that was there in the 1930s. Then that house was torn down by someone else, and then the new woman built a brand new modern home. So and when she sold it, the kids bought it back. So the kids are back on the original property the grandparents owned, and it's so fun because they're enjoying their property, but they are going to sell it because they're moving on. But it's just a neat story that they were original Laguna Beach residents in the 1930s at the beginning of.
I would love to know what that property sold for back then.
Oh yeah, not much. Not much. I mean, they got it for 11 million, and they're selling it for 30.
Wow.
Yeah. So the lady that got it before them probably paid a couple million.
Amazing how times have changed. Yep.
Oh my God, it's insane. It's insane. And then I just finished the one that I was telling you about with the 10-foot black slabs. Oh my God, it's 3 stories plus an ADU with a garage on the 4th story. So the house is on the side of the hill, and the lower garage has an ADU and a gym. And then there's another level with a pool and a yard and a disco bar, I call it, but a bar. And then there's another floor with the master suite and a movie theater and another little spa room. And then the top floor is the guest room and the kitchen and the living room and the dining room and the barbecue deck. So it's fabulous, and another garage. So that project just wrapped up, and it's just over the top with the view of Maine Beach. You can't beat that. So that's the fun part.
Well, you have lots of fun parts. What else are you working on, you busy bee?
I got another one. I just drove down the hill. I'm at Newport Coast, which is Crystal Cove. And the house has, of course, a view of the ocean, which looks all the way to Palos Verdes and Catalina Island. And that house was built, 30 years ago, and it was a Mediterranean style, so it doesn't go out of style. So we're going to paint it a lighter color or an off-white, so it looks a little more modern. And then the inside's totally gutted and all new European white oak floors and European white oak cabinets and Carrara and Calcutta marble countertops. So it's real fresh and modern. It's just basically white and oak and some rustic beams in the ceiling. So it's going to be so amazing and fresh. It's timeless building, but the inside's totally modernized. So that one's going to be done at the end of the month.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Wow. Wow.
It's fun. It's fun.
Now, for someone coming from New York, maybe listening in another state, just curious, the real estate market, the niche that you're working in, is there even any properties up for sale at this point?
Very few, and a lot of them aren't as desirable as you would want. Because there's, what's happening is the Balboa Peninsula has a lot of turnover because it's gentrifying. All the people that live there are 80, 90, 100, so they're kind of dying off and giving the property to the kids, and the kids don't live there. They can't afford to maintain them. So if they don't move in, they sell. So there's a lot of action on the Balboa Peninsula, but the Newport Coast and the regular areas where everybody's all happy with their ocean view, there's not a lot available. So it's tough. It's a housing shortage and high prices.
Oh my goodness. Wow. All right. Good to know. And also, what else, in the work you're doing, did you want to share with us for your show today?
Well, today I'm going to be appointed, or this week I'm going to be appointed the ambassador to affordable housing by the United Nations. So that's kind of fun, the UN. So I'm going to take on that little task because I think it's fun for the world. Housing, everybody's got to have a house. It's your best investment. So, there's ways to do things that are reasonable. When you don't live on the coast, that's different. So.
Aw, oh my goodness. I love this. I just wish I can come out there, meet and see you, let alone in my vision board to buy a property there and then have you build, design, and finish it for me, right? But things can happen.
You never know. Get your vision board going. That's another thing I always tell people. If you think it, thinking becomes things, and you be careful what you wish for.
I know, right? I can't wait. Awesome. Well, for someone like you, what are some of the challenges in your business? You went through COVID, the pandemic, which now everything seems to be booming. You had the shortage supply, but what's happening now that's challenging for you?
Weather. It just rained for 3 months, and now they're predicting El Nino in July. So it's really the weather. And of course, it's so busy out here because everybody's remodeling because there's no place to move. So the cities are busy, and then the delays at the city cause stress, but it's normal. But it's really the weather and then the delays of getting things through the city. And it's only a couple products that are delayed. So that's the good news. When we order doors, windows, and refrigerators, the lead time is pretty good now. So, but it's really the weather right now, funny enough. And it's summer. This isn't summer. It's cloudy. Where's the sun?
And you mentioned lots of rain. Interesting. Didn't realize that you were going through a little bit of a rainy spout here. And any other projects or anything that's happening? You're in your car, always busy, stopping at. How many projects are you managing at once?
A lot. So there's always 7 on the drafting table, and then like 7 to 10 in the field. So it's quite a few, but some of the ones in the field aren't that big. So it's not that big of a deal, but it's still a lot to manage. And I have 2 new project managers I hired in the last 6 months. And I just, after having them come aboard and immediately have 40 hours a week and busy,
Wow.
I'm wondering how I did it last year. Because it's hard for me to delegate when I can do it.
Oh, we lost you again. I guess you have another call. It's okay. One sec. It's still muted. But I know that happens because the call's coming in. It's okay. Julie Laughton. Guys, just remember Julie Laughton. Yeah, that's her name. And she'll be right back. She's here, obviously, working hard. There she is.
So it's funny, I don't know how I did it before,
Got it.
That's me.
Oh, is that Panna?
Mm-hmm.
That's my favorite, and Fiji, the 2 of them.
Yeah, Fuji. It was Fuji for years, and then I switched to Panna because, it's creamier. It's better.
Is it really? Okay, I got to do. My kids are 6 and 8, and they love Fiji. I'm like, Mommy can't afford to buy Fiji every day. And it's when we go to the restaurant, I'll splurge on the Panna.
Well, that's just it, because the Panna tastes better, and I think the Fiji there was issues. It wasn't as pure if you actually test it with the little strip. So I just try to get it the most alkaline, and yeah, I just took my vitamins, so I'm choking.
Nothing like being honest. I love it. I got my water here. I got this. Let's see. I get a bathroom break next. I hope that's about it. But work is going well, and excited for you to be here. And tell me more about your podcast. When can we see your official podcast and where?
And well, it comes out on julielaughtonliving.com, and it's every week, and it gets aired on the beginning of the week on Tuesday. So you just go to julielaughtonliving.com, and it's right there, and you can watch all the old shows too. So
Yay.
It's kind of fun. And I'm going to start having guests soon. And I reached out to Barbara Cochran from Shark Tank. I thought it'd be funny to have her as a guest because she was talking about contractors. She goes, all you need to do is get off your ass. Well, she said, get off your seat and go out. And go out. And how do you find a good contractor? She goes, get off your butt and go out and look at his truck. If he's needed, if he's neat, he'll be a good contractor. And I thought, that's a good one.
Are your trucks neat?
Yeah, yeah. All of us are neat and detail freaks, OCD, all of us. So it's fun. So it's cool. Yeah.
Well, we still got 5 minutes left. Julie, what else did you want people to share today?
Well, I think the thing about remodeling is probably the most stressful thing you can do, or building a new home. But if you pick the right team, then it's fun because it's all about making your dreams come to reality and getting your dreams out of your head on paper and allowing professionals to help you through that process, because it is a process and it's supposed to be enjoyable. And if you hire the right people that you actually like and get along with, have good reputations, it's quite enjoyable. And, it's all about clarity, because if you know yourself, then you can pick the other people that match you best, and don't be hiding and then become a victim like, oh, he's not working for me. Well, you picked them. So go through the process, of why you're picking them, because you really pick them because they're nice people and they're honest and they're talented. Because, it's funny how people end up in a nightmare scenario. The warning signs were always there. It's sort of like when you marry the wrong person. We all know the warning signs were there.
What are the warning signs? The cheapest price?
Cheapest price, doesn't show up, doesn't call back, smells like alcohol. I don't know. There's a lot of warning signs with contractors.
Got it. Oh, that's great.
But there's a lot of warning signs. Everybody knows there is one, what they are. And if you feel them, gosh, trust your gut. That's my big thing with people. Trust your gut.
That's funny you said that. I had someone show up 2 years when I moved to this house. I have an old shed, 8x10, and I moved to this house. It's 22 years old. Shed was rotting. The door. I'm like, I need a new shed. So, being a woman, single woman, I go to Craigslist. I find some guy who comes to give me a price. I'm putting to the door. I order the door. He doesn't show up. Then there's always these excuses. Then he started the project. Was supposed to come back to paint the outside. and never did. Yeah, I'm learning.
See, no, it's the very first conversation is, first of all, it's why the hell is he on Craigslist if you can't function? So, you wonder. So you got to be careful just the fact they're on that list. also is another problem because there are scammers that just go target homeowners. So
Oh yeah.
you need to work with professionals who can refer you to other professionals. So it all starts with who you're communicating with, because like minds associate with like minds. So you don't want to meet your contractor in a bar. You don't want to meet your future husband in a bar. I don't know.
Unless it's a fancy steakhouse bar.
That's different.
Good. All right. Good. And it's funny. My friend just mentioned he hired someone to come to his house to fix his Sub-Zero, but it was $50 just to walk in the door for like his fee to check it. He leaves by telling him he needs something. He'll be back with the part. It's going to be like $600. So we gave him $50. He left. Next thing you know, the guy's not returning their call. He's not coming back. It was only $50, but still, they hired someone else to come to the house to do the part. They said, your serial number is etched off the thing. Your relay is missing. So the guy came in and actually stole parts from the fridge, and that's why he wasn't getting back to them. So now they're doing small claims court.
Oh my God, it came in to steal from him. Oh my God, see?
Got to be careful. Well, you are reputable, trustworthy, and if we want to work with you, reach out to you. Remind us how we do so.
Just look at my website, julielaughton.com, and everything is on there. My phone number, my email, and any way to contact me, and every way to contact me is right there.
Awesome. Great to have you back. When will I see you again? Is it next week or the
Thursday.
week after?
Yeah, no, it is next week. It's next week.
Perfect. I wasn't sure because sometimes people are every other, but I love speaking with you. I love seeing you. And I know you're a busy woman. I'll let you get back to work. And we'll talk then next Thursday.
I'm talking to my client in Milan at 10 o'clock sharp. So there you go. I got a client that lives in Milan. So here we go.
Go for it. Enjoy. Have a great day. Thanks, hon.
Thank you. Talk soon. Okay, thanks. Bye.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.